Well, not that much control actually, because if it is that strong, you do not have any choice. You have to go and take the new road. You have no choice about that. There are some events in life that can drastically change your life. Very impactful, whether in the good or the bad. Could be in the good, you win a prize, a lottery, or you win a great prize. Something incredible happens to you. I don't know. It can be very, very impactful in a positive way, but there are also those events that do not impact you on a positive way, even in a very negative way. Like, for example, the death of somebody, or an illness, a serious illness of somebody you love or yourself. But no matter how impactful these may be, they don't come close to certain very specific events which have an incredible impact and really mark the remaining part of your life. These are called defining moments or turning points in your life. I remember in 1994, I was at a seminar, the first seminar that Tony Robbins held in Europe, and that was in London. So I flew to London, and it was of something about persuasion, influence, stuff like that. But he told about this thing with Mother Teresa of Calcutta. He was a good friend of hers. We were good friends. And so once she told him this story that really made the difference between what she was before and what she became after. She was a nun, a very simple nun, who was working, operating anyway in a women's young young women, uh, what is it, college or whatever, educational premise, whatever. I don't know what you call it exactly. Anyway, she was there helping young ladies to learn to, do a good society. So she was doing something very regular, nothing special. And of course, this college, whatever we want to call it, this establishment was was held by religious people, like nuns or priests. I think it was just nuns in that case. So she said that once, one night, she walked through what was called the City of Joy in Calcutta, and she remembers that a man, very sick man, in very, very bad conditions, just went up to her and clung onto her. And he died literally in her arms. That was such a dramatic moment, Mother Teresa told Tony, that that her life changed totally after that. This is what we call a defining moment, or a turning point. Since then, she founded, I don't remember what the name of the congregation was, but she founded a congregation of nuns who were totally dedicated in helping the poor. And she dedicated all her energy, everything for that, to that mission, let's call it that way. Okay. So that changed her life. There were two very heavy events, but they all had four things in common, which actually makes an event a defining moment. Otherwise, no matter how serious it is, how impactful it is, it doesn't mean anything. It will not be a defining moment. To be a defining moment, you need to have these four conditions being fulfilled. The first one is that it has to be unexpected. Okay? So, for example, if say, God forbid, your son has an accident, or perhaps he gets heavily injured or even dies, that is unexpected, because you don't expect that. Of course, you know that it can happen, but you do not expect it. If your father, for example, dies and he's old, he dies, and you're going to be sorry. You will be grieving for sure if you love your father, but you cannot say it was unexpected. So it has to be unexpected. That's the first condition. The second condition is that it has to be sudden. It's not enough to be expected. It has to be sudden. Let me say an example. For example, let's say, okay, you and your spouse, and you go along together, you love each other, you have fun, you do everything beautiful, everything goes well. At one point, somebody comes in, or you discover somehow, you find out that your wife or your husband is cheating on you. Or, for example, you may receive from the lawyer, her or his lawyer, you may receive a letter for divorce. That was unexpected, right? It was sudden and it was unexpected. Because if your relationship wasn't so great, okay, you were going through some problems, some things that had to be fixed, and this has been going on for a while. And at one point, somebody tells you, or you find out that your spouse is cheating on you, you cannot say it was unexpected. So in the first case where everything was okay, that fulfills this condition. If things go bad, it doesn't really. Even if the event is the same, it's not really quite the same thing, because there is this thing about being sudden and unexpected. The other condition is it has to be final. In other words, definitive. What that means is that there is no way coming back. Okay, for example, somebody dies. It's final. It's definitive. It won't come back to life. Your company failed. It's definitive. Something new can come up, but that specific thing is gone. So, for example, a divorce, it's gone. You can't go back. Yeah, in some rare cases, you can have people getting back together, but obviously, it was not a real defining moment yet. Okay, it starts to be a defining moment when you cannot go back. Like, for example, Mother Teresa, she couldn't go back. That thing happened, was so strong that her life has never been the same. It could never be the same. How could she go on, being a nun in a college for young ladies after what happened? No way. There was no possibility about that. No chance. The fourth is perhaps the most important one, because you see, you don't have very much control on whether something is unexpected or sudden, and even definitive. But the fourth condition is that it has to be irresistible, that event. What does it mean that it must be irresistible? You cannot resist to it. You cannot resist to the calling that is behind that event. Like, for example, as I say, Mother Teresa, she couldn't resist that. And that is exactly what happens. On that, we have some control. Or, well, not that much control, actually, because if it is that strong, you do not have any choice. You have to go and take the new road. You have no choice about that. But you do have the choice of not resisting it, because it's only going to harm you. Because even if you do resist it, in those conditions, you're not going to live a very good life. You're always going to live your life thinking about what happened and why you didn't follow through. That's why it's called, the fourth condition is irresistible. Now, I had two of these events, not as strong as these, but they all fulfill these four conditions. The first one was back in 1987, where I attended my first personal growth leadership class. 5-day class, very like full immersion, very intensive. It totally changed my life. It was sudden, it was unexpected, it was definitive, and it was irresistible. And that's why still today I'm working on leadership and personal growth. I couldn't do anything else right now because of that event, which totally turned my life around. And the other thing was in 2007, exactly 20 years after, where I read a book on Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism. And that just blew me up, blew my mind. It was this a book this thick, and I just couldn't put it down. And I didn't put it down. I didn't even go to eat before I finished it. I just couldn't. It was sudden, it was unexpected, it was definitive, and it was irresistible. And even today, when I talk to people, when I coach people, there are many notions from Kabbalah that I use in personal growth because it is personal growth. In fact, it is more than that, it's also spiritual. But it helps me a lot it helped me a lot to see things much more clearly. And when you have that degree of clarity, you cannot resist it. You can just say, oh yeah, perhaps it's just an opinion. No, 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 no. It went down to my soul. So I could not resist it. I did not have any choice. So if something happens to you that is so strong, that it is unexpected, it is sudden, it is definitive, in other words, you can't go back, don't resist it. Go with it because it will change your life. It can be scary, but at the same time, you feel the strength, you feel the power inside of you. If it was really, if it was really a defining moment, what you've been going through, you will have the strength to pursue it. It's nothing can stop it. That's an amazing experience. So I wish you, for you, that you do find the strength when anything like that happens, not resist it. Go with it. You will not be sorry. See you next time.